And we're live. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. This is a very special day for me to have my friend Juno of the Juno Sphere here. Welcome, Juno.
Hey, Joan, thanks for having me back again. I love it
Yeah.
when we get together.
Yeah, we were supposed to be together a couple of weeks ago with Jenny, but the end time seemed to have come to your area of the country. The fires and wind and blowing out the electricity. So I'm glad that you're back and online and ready to roll today.
Oh, I was so frustrated that day because there was a wildfire about 7 miles away and it affected the tower, and I didn't have phone and I didn't have internet. So not only was I frustrated because I couldn't connect to you, but I couldn't even get updates on where the fire was, and that's makes you extra because you get these notifications to your phone.
Yeah.
And so I was thankful that it came back on the next day, but thanks for inviting me back.
Yeah. So we have heard that you have a GoFundMe to get some equipment that you'll need to kind of get your channel rocking and rolling again, a new computer and some other things. Tell us about that and tell us how people can contribute.
Okay, thanks for asking about that. A lot of my wise friends kind of suggested that would be a way for, because my car needs about $2,500 in repairs, like new tires, like things that are mandatory to make it
Yeah.
safe. And where I live, you have to have a vehicle. There's not public transportation to deal with stuff. And then, this laptop, I have to breathe life into it just about every day. And so getting the right equipment will really help me move forward. And I started writing it on 777, the portal day last Thursday, July 7th. And my goal is $7,777. And it took me a few days to write it. And I wasn't even aware of it. When I hit the post button, it was right at 7 p.m. So lots of sevens rolling through. So there's
Yeah.
a link on my in my comment section on my channel page at Junosphere 3333 if you'd like to read about it. And even I know not everybody has the ability to contribute, so I'd appreciate any good thoughts and prayers, and good juju you send my way is also really, really great. And spread the word if you know anybody who is in a position to help, because my whole goal with my channel is to give back to this community and um, be a source of guidance and information and whatever along those lines that I can be. So
Yeah.
I'm just this community means the world to me. Y'all, you guys out there, you're my family, you're my heart, and I'm just really grateful. And
Well, it
so,
goes both ways. You've given a lot to this community too, and thank you, Sharon Sight. I think it's the second comment in the comments is how the link to Juno's GoFundMe, so you
oh,
can
awesome!
definitely
Thank
go
you,
there.
thank you.
And I wanted to say hi to Emerald Buddha and Butterfly Kisses Healing, Akila B24, Sharon, of course, Ginny, Viviani, Ross's Den, who became a new member today. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
nice.
Yeah. And if anybody wants to kind of kick me over at least the 300 member mark, I'm almost there, or subscriber, not member, of subscribers. So
Oh, good.
I'm getting there. And who else? Teresa Hadarian. And who else? Sharon's here. Jessica Lynn, thank you. And yeah, Amy Sika. Wonderful. So let me know if you have some questions. Put them in the chat, and we can get going. Oh, and here's Carolyn Adams. Carolyn, let us know if you. I'm glad you're here. That you haven't been washed away by all the big storms and everything out east. Let us know if that
Oh,
flooding
yeah.
is anywhere near you. We hope that you're okay, and everybody, sending prayers to everybody in that area.
Definitely.
Okay.
And just so people know, I can't see the chat, so I depend on Joan to let me know. So I'm not ignoring anyone. I'm just, with my computer set up, I'm not able to see it. So,
We're glad that you're able to cobble things together to make it here today. And I'll do my best on the chat, but it's I've got kind of bad eyes for doing this. But anyhow, let's see else has been going on. For me, you may have noticed, I haven't been around a lot in the last, year or so, but I'm finally kind of trying to put it together and be more active on YouTube. So there's today, and then Friday, I'm going to be on it's like 6 Eastern and 3 Pacific with Starfish Jenny. And then the next day, on Saturday, I'll be on with Scott Scorpio Sun. And that's going to be 2 o'clock Eastern to, then 1 Central, noon Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific. And those will both be on my channel. So after kind of getting things revved up, then I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go out and visit some family out in Montana. So I'll be gone for a little while. But I'd love to see you on those 2 shows. And yeah.
I'm so glad you're getting back into the swing of things and doing shows again, because we missed you.
Well, thank you.
Your lovely face.
Yeah, I kind of took some time, but I'm warming up, and I really appreciate that this is such a loving community to kind of step back into, and I feel like I'm kind of revving up.
And I think it sets a good example for others that sometimes it's okay to take time out and recharge your batteries and do what you got to do, and we know you'll come back in, and it's we all kind of need to do that. And I wanted to just mention that I'll be on every other Sunday. I'm on with Sherry, Voices from the Swamp, and I'll be on this coming Sunday again, so in the afternoon.
And Carolyn said that things aren't near her, the flooding out east, but it's definitely bad in some places. That's for sure.
Yeah, I've got friends that live in Cavendish, and I heard that they got it pretty bad, Cavendish, Vermont. So.
Oh, it's so sad. All those beautiful little towns with, when I've been there, just these little rivers running through them, and now there are torrents. But I guess Gaia is showing us what can happen when we ignore the whole climate change thing. Definitely. But that's another subject. I've got one question already from Amy. Amy has a new puppy, and she is a handful. Does she have anything she wants me to know? Amy, would you give us the puppy's name? Yeah. Oh, Cavendish and Montpelier. Yeah.
New puppies are such a joy, but they can cause some sleepless nights, so you get them all integrated and over their newness. And
and there's Starfish. Thank you for joining us. We're just getting going. Oh, and there's Terrastash. Hey, lovely to see you. Jingle Bell. Oh, I'm so glad we waited for the name. So we're going to ask about Jingle Bell, if she has anything she wants Amy to know. This new puppy.
What a great name. That's funny.
Right away, I got, sometimes she'd like it when she's really excited. She'd like to be called either Gigi or Belle, because Jingle Bell altogether can be a little bit, it's a little sharp. And when, especially when she's excited, maybe just say, hey, Belle, or hey, Gigi. Other times, like if you want her to calm down, don't use the whole name, use those 2 or other kind of softer names that aren't quite so percussive, because otherwise she's very excitable, and the whole name is just like, it's rousing to her. Okay, Jingle Bell. Okay, Belle, now that what else would you like me to know? Would you like Amy to know? I'm just getting the feeling that she likes it here. She's still a little bit, a little nervous, and the nervousness and the newness comes out as typical puppy behavior, just a little bit more revved up. And she said, try to catch her in times when she's kind of pooped out, and scratch or rub her behind her ears. And just talk in a soothing voice, and that'll help. And then I just heard, I'm sorry, Mom, I just can't help it, that she's, when she's revved up, it's just a stage she's going through. But she likes it here. Let's see, anything about the food, Jingle Bell? Food is fine. I think I'm seeing like a rug or a place that she like. It looks like one of the. Well, it looks kind of like the mandala that is showing on Juno's screen. Something that's round and she kind of follows it and sort of, does her circling and lying down there. There's some place and it looks like a rug or something with a. I don't know if it has a circular pattern or she's just saying that's where I like to circle and kind of land. So let us know if any of that makes sense. Juno, what did you get for Jingle Bell?
Well, this card flew out of the deck, and I'm using the Spirit Animal Oracle deck, and it is Chameleon Spirit, and it says act as if. And I just think that is so perfect for a new puppy, they're learning how to be around you also. So how you would like to perceive them. And the card number for this is 14. Bear with me. My camera's upside down to make this all work. So I'm getting the hang of this. But it's about adapting isn't about losing yourself. It's about learning to dance with others. And there's lots of changes, and being sensitive helps you to adapt. So maybe the puppy's really sensitive, and then you're going to be real sensitive at times, but just bear with it. You act as if, and then you're the pack leader, so then the puppy will follow. And if I may offer a little bit of Jinshin Jitsu help, this is really, really helpful for if you put your hands here. Can you see where the red areas where the hands are on that? That is very calming for any animal, dogs, cats, horses, whatever, but especially with a new puppy. And if you start them out where they're getting used to you holding them this way, is really, really beneficial. And you can bring your hand. I like to bring this hand and the lower part in from the front between their legs, but you can go from the back between their front legs also. And it's just incredibly calming and centering and helps them to feel comforted and at home. So I think JB will like that little Jingle Bell. What a
That sounds great. Amy said that she sleeps great through the night, which is amazing. And oh dear, she chewed a cord under my new recliner, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, those little needle-like teeth. And she has her own bed that she likes. That's good.
I really
a round bed. Okay, that's what I must have been.
Oh, cool. You were right on with that, Joan.
Something.
I really like crate training dogs. I've done that with my dogs, and it's just made it so much easier. And, the door is open. They go in there at night of their own. The door is, I don't close the door behind them, but they're comfortable. That's like their little den. And if they're prone to chewing and getting into things, that's a way to keep them safe also. So just my little 2 cents worth.
Yeah. Oh, so thank you. That was a really good way to start with such a nice, bright spirit like Jingle Bell. Gina M is here, and Viviani, and Starfish, and let's see, someone else just showed up. Janet C., thank you so much for coming. Wonderful. Yeah, so if anybody else has a question, let us know. We've got I don't think I'm seeing any others. If I've missed something, call it out. Okay, here we go. Here's Viviani. Can I have a message from my spirit team, please?
Hey, Viviani. She's such a lovely person.
Oh, and such an amazing moderator. She and Sharon are just the dream team.
Message from your spirit team. Gonna switch decks.
They are showing me a hyacinth bulb. The hyacinth, the spring flowers that they bloom in the spring, but I'm seeing one that's being forced, like it's in the wintertime, you can put them in some water and they'll start sprouting and bloom. And this is a beautiful sprouted hyacinth, and it's purple and it just smells wonderful. Although I'm not really smelling it, but the real ones really do. And lots of roots going out into the clear glass container where it's being forced with the water in it. But I think what this means is, just like with hyacinths, either when they're forced or they are in the garden, that after blooming, they have to gather their energy. And then if you force them, you have to put them in the freezer or the refrigerator or something, then bring them out. And the ones outside have to go through the freezing cycle. And what they're telling me through all this, rather than just talking gardening, is this is a time to gather your strength. Or maybe you've gone through a time where you've needed to gather your strength, and now you're in this period of bloom. So if you feel like it's kind of a transition time, that's what it's all about. It was kind of a necessary period of rest and recuperation and gathering the nutrients and everything that you needed to put together. And it might have been difficult times, just like the hyacinth bulb has to go through the freezing cycle. But now I see it all sprouted up, and it's the beautiful purple, perfect hyacinth bloom, and it's leaning toward the sun. So I think that's a good message, that maybe it is more explaining things that's been happening in the recent past. Okay, she said, yes, it's a transition time. So yeah, but the feeling I'm getting is that it was sort of this necessary thing that's going to enrich you and give you what you need to move forward. I hope that's helpful. Juno, what do you get?
I really I just love the way you read, Joan, and I love that description. And hyacinths are one of my favorite flowers, and I love the way they like the blooms come out all around. That they totally surround that whole stalk and the top and everything. So Viviani just shines her energy in all directions.
Yeah.
And I just, it's just a really beautiful plant, and I love the way you can put them in the certain kind of a jar, and have them just sprout and watch the roots as well as the top grow. It's really an amazing flower. And for her, I'm using the Akashic Tarot, and I pulled the One of Scrolls, on track. So you're on track. I know you're going through some changes, and Spirit's wanting you to know that they're supporting you, that you're right on track with what you're working towards. And it says travel or move is indicated, and also choices and directions. So, be conscious of where you are focusing your energy. Keep it focused on the positive and where you want to go, not where you've been. That train isn't going backwards, it's going forwards down the track. Time to decide. There's a direction that compels you, so get on board and you won't falter. Imagine yourself stepping back through the stone archway of the station and into like what you were talking about before, like because it's referring to the card before. And in this sense, I look at it as your reading, because, you went before me.
Okay.
So that was that time of, gathering your energy, and being ready to bloom and blossom on your own and so this is the next step from what Joan's reading was. Just focus on that. And to me, hyacinths are so incredibly fragrant. So she may get some messages through maybe not a hyacinth fragrance, but something else that's really noticeable that's going to get her attention. And that might give her some clues to what her next move is.
Yeah. There's a season for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Okay. I hope that was helpful. And now we're on to TB. I've been told that I'm a light worker several times, and I have had readings and real intense energy in my hands, and feel real intense energy in my hands. I would like to know the best practice for me. For example, Reiki, pendulum, tarot. I think any of those. I think the Joan, Earth Joan answer is any of those that you're attracted to, but let's see what Spirit says.
I second Joan's thought.
Um, I am getting uh, the healing, doing some form of healing, because that is so strong in you. My hands are heating up just kind of thinking about it. And they're saying Reiki or whatever. But a lot of people think Reiki is the way to go, and you have to have the attunement or all of that stuff. But you can just uh, ask to be connected with divine source healing energy, and put it out there. There are books. There's if one my early mentor Echo Bodine has a couple books. I think one of them is Hands That Heal, and she has been teaching spiritual healing for decades and decades, even before Reiki kind of surfaced. Um, and so if you want to explore that, that's great, because it does give you a structure. Um, but you don't need that, especially when you have kind of the natural abilities you do. All right, I'm going to ask the pendulum on this too. For TB, is Reiki the appropriate? Is that the most appropriate way for TB to explore hands-on healing? I'm kind of getting sort of what I said. It's just circling. It's like, yeah, that would be fine, but now it is saying yes. Yeah, so that would be a fine way to do it, but see what feels right to you. Spirit, is there anything else? There's just saying it's more about intention. Yeah, so I'd say go ahead and see if Reiki feels like that would be good for you. But there's other ways of doing it too. So, or of putting those natural abilities to work. Let's see. She is saying, I like Reiki, but I don't feel like I need all of those steps. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you can find it in the library or used bookstore or even eBay, look for Echo Bodine's book on healing. I think she has a couple of them. Or she has I'll find this episode of her podcast. The podcast is called Intuitive Living. And one time there was a podcast, and I'll put it in the show notes afterwards, about healing and how she approaches it. Because not everybody can do it, and it's not right for everybody to have the more structured approach. There's I always say that so much in spirituality, it's not a either or a point A to point B. It's more a spoke and a wheel approach, where there's lots of different ways to the center, to what you're getting at. So we'll put intention behind that. You will find the right way for you. What do you get, Juno?
That was really nicely put, Joan. And if she's already feeling that energy in her hands and she doesn't feel like she needs those steps, then she doesn't need that structure. She's a natural healer, and a lot of people don't have that. I mean, you can work towards it and attain it, but it's just like anything. Some people are born naturally gifted to play an instrument or whatever it is. So if you've already got that inclination, and like with Jin Shin Jitsu, it's a healing art. It's not a technique. It's an art, which means, you take what you learn, but then you do your own thing with it, and you go where the energy encourages you to go. And I would also, when I get my new computer, because I'm being positive that this is going to happen, I'm going to start having videos on my channel to teach Jin Shin Jitsu self-help. And the thing that's different, well, one of the ways that Jin Shin Jitsu is different, it doesn't require an attunement. It doesn't require a belief system or anything like that. You're simply jumper cabling. So, you might want to be looking for that. And you can also Google online. You can find out a lot of information online about Jin Shin Jitsu if that's something that you'd like to to learn. And, once you have that, I'm also a Reiki master. And so I notice, like, even when I'm cooking or I'm creating something, that energy is flowing through my hands. So you might want to be aware of it, whatever you're doing. And the card I pulled for you, TB, was the Six of Keys, the iridescent moon. And here you see somebody who's sculpting something. They're bringing their creation to life in their own way. And look at the light inside him, that he's putting that energy out. So you might come up with a whole new way of, your own healing method, and many paths up the mountain. One is not better than the other. Whatever seems to work for you is what, and you may change. You might study one thing for a while and then move on to another thing that gets your attention. But yeah, I'm going to be teaching. I'm putting together some classes also, and also some basic self-help videos. So, because really the beauty of Jin Shin Jitsu is we can help ourselves. It's great to get a session from someone who's a practitioner, but there's so much that you can do to help yourself, which will generate your own energy. But and I see the moon there in the background, so I encourage you to go out under the moon, whatever phase the moon is at, and draw in that energy. And part of this whole journey is learning to get your own answers also, as well as coming to people for guidance. But I think that you've already got that connection there to spirit. So just keep on. The more you work at it, it's like working that spiritual muscle, the more you work it, the stronger it will become. So congratulations, you're already feeling that energy in your hands.
Yeah.
That's a huge, there's no more validation than that you've got the power there, within yourself to do that. And don't forget to heal yourself. Put those healing hands on your own self, and you'll be amazed at how much you can help yourself.
Definitely. Thank you for the question. And let's see.
There's a book called Hands of Light, and the author's name is Barbara something, and I can't remember it right off the bat, but that's another thing to look. You might be interested in that book also.
Sure. Here's our Carolyn Adams. Oh, you know what? I'm going to just read down really quick the people who I have. Carolyn, and then Rossi's Den, Tarot Your Way. Carolyn, do I have two from you? Okay, yes, so I can take this one off. Tarot Your Way, and then Sonia Pinola. So we're going to start with Carolyn.
Here's that book, Hands of Light by Barbara Brennan. So that might be something.
Yeah.
Give some good background. So.
And is that about a specific type of healing?
It's
or just kind of in
healing
general?
through the human energy field. So it's not specific. It's, and it's written by somebody who comes from a scientific background. So
yeah,
I just thought it might be, I knew I had it on my bookshelf, so I thought it might be helpful. It says, with the clarity of a physicist and the compassion of a gifted healer with 15 years of professional experience. So this was written many years ago, so she's got a lot more than that. So some people like to have a little more of the scientific input, because then to them they feel like it's more valid. I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but that's a book that if that's how you get your information, or trust your information, that might be a good option. And you can look for books like that in a used bookstore, or even if you go to Amazon and look, you can get used copies of books that way too.
Yeah, I needed to get a book on intuition, and I had bought, and this again was from Echo Bodine. And every now and again, I don't know about the rest of you, but sometimes I kind of get really into this stuff, and then it's like other things happen. And so one day, and then during the long winters in Minnesota, I get claustrophobic, and I just want to give everything away. So I cleared out all of my spiritual books. I gave them all away, and it's not.
Oh, you're kidding!
So I had to go and buy that one again because I really needed to go read it. It's like, just put them in a box somewhere. There's a balance point between giving everything away and keeping what you need. But enough about that. Let's see if we can get something for Carolyn Adams. She has gotten 2 paying genealogy clients just out of the blue. Is this a sign? Okay. Is this a sign for Carolyn? Okay, I asked, is this a sign for Carolyn? And I got yes right away. And it's a sign that you are doing what you should be doing. Spirit, is there anything more that you can tell Carolyn about this? they showed me right away, like a paper cone that's going to be holding a bouquet of flowers, and then the flowers came right out and bloomed. This is your joy. This is your gift. Um, and when these come, and if it makes your heart sing, just say thank you, thank you, thank you, and more are going to come. They're saying, um, this is like planting winter wheat. You've already planted the seeds last season, whatever that means, in a different season that you're in now, and now it's bearing fruit. So this is why you don't have to go out and plant. You don't have to go out and kind of drum up business. They're kind of sprouting and growing on their own, but it's from work that you've done before and connections that you've made before, or just whatever. Because right now, they're going on with the wheat stuff, and I'm seeing harvesting the wheat, and you're doing something else with the wheat. You're busy doing other things, so you can't like put all this time into marketing and all of that. So just if it is something that you love to do and would like to see more of, just be attuned to how you feel when you get these, and say thank you if you'd like more. And just expect that they're going to come. And one thing will lead to another. A lot of this, it's like in the olden days when there wasn't the internet, and people just kind of heard about it through word of mouth or whatever. I heard my mom's favorite prayer: I trust in God and his love and care for me. Just trust that Spirit is looking out for you, and in your best interest, these things will come. And then kind of assess each one. Was that fun? Was this like too much work for everything else you've got going on in life? But if the snowball continues to build, to mix many metaphors here, you can put a little bit more effort behind it if you want to. But right now, just kind of trust that it's going to come. And yes, it is a sign for you. How about you, Juno? What do you get?
Well, I totally agree with what you said, that, if those people are showing up already, that's it's like they say, if you've got a mouse in your house, that doesn't mean you have one, you got a whole bunch of them. So if there's two paying clients, there's a whole bunch that are waiting in the wings, to come to you for your services. And from the Akashic Tarot, I pulled the King of Keys, and I just thought this was really interesting because to me, this looks very genealogical. And I kind of hear that you might want to start to incorporate some of the Akashic work with that, along with the genealogical. Genealogical follows the trails through paper and, church records and ship manifests and all things like that. But you might also want to learn how to tap into the Akashic records if you haven't already, and use your imagination when you're doing these readings. And part of the meaning of this card, it talks about you're in for a major promotion, a heightening of income, or furthering of career advancements. So, and I would say this is a go for it, girl. And, maybe tap into that. Looks like this makes me think of King Arthur or, something like that. So maybe that's another avenue you could go down with your genealogical offerings, to bring in a little bit more of the fantasy part. We've a really interesting story for people. Be open to those, because who knows what was actually real or not real. We're depending on what somebody else's written record is. So if you go into the Akashic records, you're going to get all that information. So just a thought that you might want to combine the two. But I think it's an excellent positive card for her question.
Yeah. All right. Unstar that. And
with the King of Keys, that's like you've got the keys, you've already got that. Knowing how to do genealogy takes time to be adept at it, and she's already got that background. So
definitely. May I have a message from my guide? Asks Rossi's Den.
And I'm just letting you know that monsoon is on my doorstep and it's thundering out. So if I go away, it's not because I don't want to answer the question.
It's always like, everything is going on in your neck of the woods. Okay. My throat chakra lit up right away. And then I heard speak your truth and speak it into being. So if there is something that you are wanting, I think this is a message to speak it into being, to, just as Juno was saying, when she gets her new computer or when she gets the car work done, rather than if I get enough money to do it. Be careful about the way you use your words. The way you use your words can help or hinder your goals. So speak it into being. And a lot of that means letting go of the doubt. Like sometimes it's like, yeah, I'm going to get enough money to buy a new computer. And then right away, the ego steps in and goes, yeah, right. And so just cut that out and speak it into being. And maybe you have to speak whatever it is you want into being, just a tiny step first to keep the ego in check. But I think the main message here is that your guides want you to know is you can accelerate the progress through your voice. And then I pulled a card for you, and it's the Archangel of Harmony that says, Archangel of Harmony, bring in music. So maybe not just speak it into being, but sing it into being.
Oh, I love that.
That'd be
drum
cool.
It into being, or
somehow using sound.
Well, when we're writing or we're speaking, we're actually spelling. So you think of that, not just spelling like ABC, but we're also putting that intent out there. And conscious language is extremely important, like Joan says. Like I tell people, even if I order something through Amazon, let's say, and I know it's coming, when I get it, I don't say I got it. I say I received it, which implies that it's a gift. Like we don't take a breath, we receive a breath. It's a gift, and look at how many unconscious gifts we're getting every day, and we're not even acknowledging them. So I think that's really important to, if you start feeling like, let the fears creep in, and laughter and fear cannot live where there's laughter. So if you laugh more, you will be in fear less. And it's so appropriate because I pulled the Three of Roses, which is about the loving elementals. So I sense that you've got a lot of loving elementals around you, Rossi's Den, that are speaking to you and just waiting for you to receive their messages and acknowledge them. And this card talks about your joy will be increasing soon. So have fun, be more playful, sing a little, which goes right along with what Joan says. Sing a little and laugh a lot. Call on the elementals to inspire you and lift you in other areas. They are in front of you, and upliftment can expand the joy in your life in great measure. So, element, if you can get outside, you can, get in the woods or anywhere where you, even in your own little garden. And if not, maybe you've got an area in your house where you've got all your crystals or whatever, the elementals can come inside too. And like I remember in Girl Scouts, there were brownies, and we would, we learned about the brownies that would come in the house at night and do all the little chores and things like that. That that was part of the story of that. So lighten up, be happy, be joyful, because then you're going to attract more of that into your life. And
she said, singing, I grew up with a lot of music at home, so that might be a key.
There you go.
And Carolyn said, let's see. She has an interest in the Akashic Records. And I think that is part of it for her. Yeah, that makes sense. The Akashic Records are sort of like the spiritual version of going through all the genealogical records.
Yeah. Well,
that
the
makes
Akashic
sense that
Records
those two
would include the genealogical records, goes beyond. So
it's sort of like, as long as you're in the library, why don't you just step
right.
Come
on over here, look at these scrolls I got.
Anyhow, thank you, Rossi's Den. I hope that was helpful to you. Now, okay, tarot your way. What should I be concentrating on for my channel? Well, first we should ask everybody here to go subscribe to it. Tarot your way.
I love that everybody's got their own bent on, their own take on how to get their message across. I think it's wonderful.
Right away, I heard authenticity, your authentic voice, because there's a zillion channels, even in this space out there, but nobody has your voice, your take, your interpretation. The tarot cards, no matter how many different decks of cards you have, they're the same for everyone, but your spirit team will help you interpret them in a unique way. So I think this is just the spiritual way of saying, just be yourself and be, and own that, and know that the people who are on the right vibe, the vibe that will match with that will mesh with your vibe, they'll come to you. Don't try and be anybody else. What else? Be pretty open about yourself. Don't worry about it being perfect. And I think it keeps coming back to that authenticity. Let me pull a card and see what we get. I got Archangel Sandalphon, center and ground. So say grounded in your authentic self, and that's going to draw the people that are meant to come to you. Juno, what did you get?
I just think it's so funny how things align. I just love reading with you, and we're just right. And I got the Six of Scrolls, the Sands of Time, and you had Sandalphon.
Oh yeah, there you go.
There's the theme right there. And you see him, he's looking at that hourglass that's running out, but he's rolling up his sleeves like it's time to get back to work. Don't worry about, am I doing it right? Is this going to, you're going to know the message to put out, and those that are going to be drawn to you will come. Let's see. It says that the setting sun is low on the western horizon and the hourglass is almost run out. So roll up your sleeves and get back to work. Time is of the essence in some important matter. It may be a project, situation, or personal connection that requires action or completion. Keep going. Focus and efforts are still required, and don't let worry steer you away from your goal. So, how we're all of us who are new with this, and I'm not sure how long Tarot Your Way has had the channel, but, you're never going to get it perfect or whatever. You just keep doing it, keep putting out there, doing the, show up, do the best you can, and you're going to learn and grow as you move along on this journey. And the wonderful thing about this community is everybody is so supportive and patient and willing to give a helping hand when needed. And so just, keep on keeping on. You're doing a great job. And the thunder just rolled really big. So that's a good sign for you that you're doing the right thing.
That's great. And he was saying, LOL, far from perfect.
Yeah, join the club.
Yeah, that's what, people are very forgiving here. And you know what? That's kind of what I did when I started, because I thought, I'm not going to wait. If I wait to be perfect, or if I wait to even be better than I am, this is not going to happen. And I thought, maybe if I can go on and, do my best with what I have and stumble around as I tend to do, it might encourage other people to do the same thing. Oops.
Well, and for other people, if you mess up, it lets other people know that, hey, they messed up too. I guess I'm not the only one. I don't have to have it all perfectly edited and, this and that being just right. Joan, you were so helpful when I was getting started. What did we do? Like 6 practice sessions beforehand just to get the technology down and whatever. And your channel will morph as you develop your skills and your ability to communicate your knowledge and what you want to share.
Definitely. Okay. Sonia, may I get a message from my angels for this week and weekend? All right. What do Sonia's angels want her to know? Some energy is coming in for you this weekend. And I'll tell you what I saw. I kind of did a triangle connecting you and me and then up to your spirit team. And it's like this white triangle on a black background, and a big star came shooting through the triangle with like stardust behind it. And then it went zoom up on the other side. So I think that this means there's some big energy coming this weekend, and it seems pretty positive. It might kind of, it might be kind of intense, but I think it's a positive thing. It's high energy, and it's like right through the center of the triangle, right? Okay, Spirit, can we be a little more specific, please? What's going on with Sonia this weekend? I'm seeing shoes, and I heard you're going to have a good time. So I don't know if you're going to go out for a walk or if you're going to be dancing. But I'm feeling it's high vibe. I think it's going to be a good weekend. Okay, and they're saying expect it, expect the best, and you can enhance it this way. I hope that comes true for you. So yeah, report back. What do you get, Juno, for Sonia for this weekend?
That was really encouraging, and it goes along with my card again. I got the 7 of Keys, the ascent. You're talking about the high vibration. Look, there's kind of a triangle-shaped mountain there. Mm-hmm. So it says, with great effort and determination, you can apply yourself to goals for assured success. There may be some risks, but you can reach the top. It could be a promotion or advance to a much higher position that's coming. It isn't just luck or external influences, but your own hard work and application that brings the achievement you seek. So this goes right along with what Joan was saying. This is, you don't get much higher vibrating than the top of the mountain there, and he's drawing in the energy from the sun. And so maybe you're going to get out in the sun. Maybe you like to hike and you're going to, climb a mountain. And sometimes, the mountain we climb is within ourselves, and reaching our own goals, that we set for ourselves, not in terms of what somebody else thinks that we should do. And you've got 7 keys there that you already have. So see what doors those keys will unlock for you.
That sounds wonderful. Yeah. That looks like a good weekend. And here is a question from our dear Perrette. A card, please.
Hey, sweet Perrette. I hope all's going well with you. I love that name. I think it's such a beautiful name.
Why don't you go ahead and go first?
Okay, I'm getting there.
Okay.
Ooh. Let me get my thoughts together here. I pulled the 6 of Forces, the waterfall. So there's a lot of movement, a lot of emotion in this card. You have incredible personal power that supports you in opening up to the force within you. You're a dynamo in the universe and can shape any situation in a way that honors you and moves you forward. The element of water is fluid. Like the waterfall, your personal energy never stops. Your life force is never ending. It springs from your eternal past and roars into your limitless future, extending into the farthest reaches of the universe. Time of deep thought and deeper emotions and expansion of psychic energy. So this is a really powerful card that, you've got this all inside you. You've got that healing energy for self-healing. And I learned in Jin Shin Jitsu, be the fountain, not the reservoir. And this really speaks to me about being the fountain, that water keeps flowing. Don't hang on to things. Let things move through you. And you'll find those waters are incredibly healing also. So I hope that's helpful, Perrette.
That's beautiful. And I got the Archangel of Grace, who says, more flow, less hustle. So kind of
It goes along.
it does, those two do align very much. More flow, less hustle. So, just kind of let things flow and don't feel like you have to force things so much.
Well, and when that reminds me of the trying to, I learned in Jinshin Jitsu, we're always corrected. We're not trying to, you're a human being, not a human doing. And if you find yourself in that analysis paralysis, that monkey mind going around the hamster wheel, hold your pinky fingers. This harmonizes that energy to help get you out of that kind of thought, cycle that it seems to be never ending. And how do I get off this ride? I don't want to be on this ride anymore. And the reason why it's the pinky finger is that's connected to small intestine energy and heart energy. And small intestine is where we sort out our food before we continue to digest it. And we also digest thoughts and feelings. So that's why if you hold that, and also we're back to the conscious language, as much as you can remove that phrase of trying to and find another positive way to word something, you're going to see a huge shift in things for yourself.
Yeah.
Big hugs to you, Perrette.
And I also pulled the Knight of Wands, and he is moving forward pretty fast on that horse. So there might be messages and information coming to you fairly quickly.
So like the waterfall moves, that's
Yeah.
It's not a pond, a stagnant pond, it's moving.
Wonderful. Okay. I hope that was helpful. And now we have I'm going to not try your first name because I know I'll mispronounce it, but Mr. Firmino. So any messages toward my professional path? And please excuse me that I wasn't able to even make a decent stab at your name. All right. Any messages toward his professional path? I'm seeing an old set of keys that unlocks a door. It's like almost like a tabernacle or something. And then that it opens up. So the old keys mean this is something you have within you already. You have what it takes to be successful within you already. And it's just like you're going to have to unlock this within yourself and let it come out. All right. Now I'm seeing it. And I'm actually seeing this like it's in a church, the tabernacle in the church. And that's where, at least in the Catholic Church, where the Holy of Holies, where the host and everything is. So, okay, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about that your spiritual connection, your spiritual growth and set of beliefs, that you've already got that. You just kind of have to let it out. And not that you're going to be a priest or something like that, but use your spiritual connection to help you along your path, whatever that might be in business or in your profession or what you do for work. Spirit, is there anything more you can tell me about this that would be helpful? Yeah, and now they're showing me a man standing in the stream fishing, which to me means reel it in, put it out there what you want, and then just reel it in. They're really focusing on the fact that you've already have the spiritual power to bring what you want to you. So you need to unlock it and weave a new story. This is the Archangel of Serenity, and it's weave a new story, but you can also see there's a yin yang symbol in the middle there. So it's a weaving a new story, but something that's well balanced. Okay, Spirit, what do you mean by well balanced? Foot in both worlds. Use your spiritual connection in a balanced way. It's like you've got a foot on both sides of the river, and that in what, you know, the physical world and the spiritual world. And when you have those in balance, great things can come. But they keep going back to unlock. You've already got the keys. You've already got the keys, and you can do this. It's just a matter of fine tuning. I hope that was somewhat helpful. And Juno, what did you get?
You know, Joan, I wish you and I could do something that would coordinate. You know, I pulled this card before you even started speaking, and it's the King of Forces. And look at where he's standing, right next to a stream.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, just totally in alignment with what you were saying. And this card talks about the power of nature is all around this king here, and he is force himself, a force himself, exerting calm influences on the wolf and the rabbit. Because you see there's a down here there's a wolf and a rabbit right next to each other, which are natural enemies, but he has them staying calm. He's powerful and has positive energy. He comes with good intentions. Gentleness and honesty resonate from him. Coming into your life soon. It might be a love interest or bring support for a special project, a work issue, or just your life in general. Be tender to yourself in preparation. Careers in electronics, astronomy, physics, geology, alternative fuels, or any of the earth sciences and new industries and environmental care would be indicated here. So I just think that's so cool that you talked about a man by a stream, and you know, I just pull a lot of like inner strength here, a lot of peaceful strength, not force like I'm going to go out and fight a war or anything. That, you know, I learned through being around Native Americans that a lot of times the most profound thing you can say is just to zip it and say nothing.
Yeah.
You know, be quiet, be out in nature and just commune with that. And, you know, and look at the energy coming in from up above. Just that's like kind of like the violet flame energy.
Yeah.
To transmute things. So
now, toward the end of the description you are reading, it mentioned a bunch of kind of specific areas that might be, you know.
Yeah, electronics, astronomy, physics, geology, alternative fuels, or any of the earth sciences or new industries that help the environment.
Well, that was pretty specific. We hope that is helpful to you.
And it's nice to see a new face. I haven't seen Mr. Firmino here before, so welcome.
Yes. And this is perfect timing because we're coming up on an hour. And here is a question from Aaron Whitefoot. Can I get a message from my spirit guides? Okay, Spirit, tell me more about this. I'm just seeing this little figure that it looks like either like a dragonfly or a little being that it's zooming up. It's dressed, it's in green, and it's zooming up at exactly a 45-degree angle. This is a time of movement and ascension and for just a lot of forward movement for you right now. Okay, that's great, spirits, but is there anything specific Aaron needs to know to make the most of this? And they're pretty much saying it seems counterintuitive or contradictory that it's important to stay grounded when you're soaring, to keep that connection with the earth, and at the same time let your spirit soar, but stay grounded here, because otherwise you can get a little lost. They're telling me it's like breathing. You breathe in the air and it goes to all parts of your body here in the 3D world. And so it's that kind of exchange. You're going to be out there in the ethers, getting spiritual information, but then integrated it into yourself to become practical. Because it's not just about, oh, I saw my great grandmother or something like that. It's the purpose for you is to bring in this information to, for all of us, to help us on this journey in this 3D world now. You don't want to get completely lost out there. They're telling me we all came, and they're saying this specifically for you. We incarnated for a reason. It's important to work our plan here with the assistance and the guidance of your guides and whatever you can tap into on the other side. But remember that you came here for a reason, to accomplish your goals here. So don't be afraid to live in this world. Okay, I've been doing your best. It sounds like you're doing a great job.
That's all any of us can do, is our
Exactly.
best.
Yeah. How about you, Juno? What did you get?
Well, when you mentioned the dragonfly, that reminded me that, the dragonfly, the nymph or whatever, it lives underwater for a long time before it becomes a dragonfly. So it has no idea that it can even fly. It only knows that world under the water until it's, reaches maturity, and then it goes into the air and it can fly above. And I just think it's so amazing that I pulled card 13, the Buddha prepares, which goes right along with what Joan was saying again. And this card says, the Buddha sits meditating, time of inner preparation before action, a time of waiting. Things may be at a standstill right now, but you take the time required to repair and to truly step into your power. Don't be in a hurry. The time to act is coming, and when it arrives, your strength will be absolute. So just, you know how it is, Joan, as the more we meditate and get into that quiet space, that's when we really get those messages. You don't get them when you're out running around, do this, do that in the 3D world, Be quiet and go within. And if you're drawn to the Buddha, you may want to seek out that path and learn more about the Buddha and his life story. But look at the light coming from the center of his chest, that heart chakra energy.
Yeah.
So, and then there's like a halo around his head that he's just glowing. So I just see Aaron like that. And Whitefoot, what a beautiful name. I see that when I see Whitefoot, I think of somebody who steps gently upon the land. And just don't be impatient.
Always ask for help when he needs them. They don't want me to stay still.
Yeah.
Preparing for winter, boy.
There you go.
And that's in the mountains where I get them. Cool.
Perfect place to be. And you're lucky to have that as an option. And a high throat chakra. There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's great. Wonderful. We hope that is helpful to you. You're definitely on the path. Great. Well, this worked out just perfectly. Don't you love when that happens? I think we've gotten through everybody who had a question. If not, you can come back next time we do this. I'm going to be on again, as I mentioned, on Friday with Jenny, and then on Saturday with Scott Scorpio Sun. And I'm going to ask, if you're not a subscriber to my channel or to Juno's channel yet, please do subscribe. That would be great. So you'll know when these things are happening. And again, Juno, can you tell us? Oh, I think I wanted to mention that the link to your GoFundMe is in the description box of this video. And also it's the very first, one of the very first messages in the chat today. If that's still available. Yes. Yes, but tell us more about another place or other places where people can find your GoFundMe.
If anyone would like a private reading, which I'm just doing by donation right now, whatever you can afford, you can email me at junosees, JUNOSEES @gmail.com, and we can set something up. And, whatever I can do to help guide you along your way, I'm more than happy to be of service. And, I do tarot cards, oracle cards, destiny cards, which is done with a regular deck of cards. I do galactic readings and tuning into the angels. I've got a lot of different guides. Or if you want to know more about crystals, we can talk about that, or self-help Jinshin Jitsu things. So just email me. We'll figure something out. And I hope that you and I get together again soon, Joan, because I always love reading with you. You're like my
I,
sister to me. So
I
I
think we should do
appreciate
it on the
you.
regular.
I think so.
And I do private readings too, again by donation. So whatever you want to contribute, if you want to contribute, and the link to that is in the description box too. But Juno, thank you so much, and thank you to everybody who came, and especially our moderators, Sharon Sipe and Viviani. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time around. Bye
Thanks so
now.
much, Joan. Love all you guys. Appreciate you so much.
Bye.
Bye.